Since 1915, the Lake Worth Drainage District has been managing the water resources of southeastern Palm Beach County through reclamation of the land, through flood protection, and through water supply protection, assuring a safe, steady supply of drinking water to our population. The Lake Worth Drainage District was established in June of 1915. Because of wide fluctuations in the floodwaters during South Florida's wet and dry seasons, a system of drainage canals was excavated to reclaim the land and make it habitable year-round. The canal system provides flood protection for the low-lying sandbar of South Florida. Without this system of canals, much of the lower peninsula would be swampland. By 1921, over 500 canal miles had been dredged over the district's 218 square mile area of service. Since that time, the district's primary function has changed from one of drainage to tasks more suited to the current and future needs of South Florida. Today, the Lake Worth Drainage District covers those same 218 square miles in southeast Palm Beach County, from the Hillsborough Canal on the Broward County line north to Okeechobee Boulevard, from the I-95 area to west of State Road 7. Although a separate entity, the Lake Worth Drainage District works in conjunction with the South Florida Water Management District, discharging floodwaters into their canal and pumping water out of their canals for water supply under predetermined conditions. Approximately 100 employees monitor and control a complex system of over 60 canals, 15 major control structures, and numerous smaller water control structures within the district. These control structures enable us to maintain specific water elevations throughout our area. In meeting the demands of today's water supply needs, the Lake Worth Drainage District utilizes the structures and water elevations to concentrate its efforts on two major missions: flood protection and water supply. The unique nature of South Florida's topography creates conditions which threaten our safety during times of flooding. Our proximity to the ocean threatens our water supply. These conditions demand that all water tables be examined constantly. For the most part, South Florida is a flat, low-lying sandbar, seated on a bed of limestone just a few feet above sea level. The water table is extremely high, leaving just several feet between the water table and the floors of homes. There is little margin for error. South Florida's subtropical climate produces frequent rainstorms during a long rainy season. The showers may drop up to several inches of water within hours, with runoff discharging into our canals. The fact that a single heavy rainstorm could result in sudden flooding demands constant evaluation of all conditions. District personnel study weather reports and stay in constant communication with the NOAA Weather Service, South Florida Water Management District, and Palm Beach County's Emergency Operations Center. As a particular weather cell approaches, we prepare for the storm. During a typical major rainfall event, district personnel travel to a dozen critical locations within the district to read water elevations. This observation process goes on long after the rain has stopped, since runoff continues to alter the level of the canals. All major structures are now fully automated, using upstream sensing devices, resulting in a quicker response time and more controlled elevations upstream. Automated flow is monitored constantly and overridden when necessary. The object is balance. Release enough water to prevent flooding, but not too much water, as once this water is discharged into the ocean, it cannot be retrieved later for water supply. One of the major tasks of the district is maintenance. In order for water to flow freely and according to plan, both control structures and canals have to be strictly maintained. All control structures are inspected for performance on a daily basis. Canals are freed from any obstructions which would hinder water flow. They're kept at their proper design depth, free of silt and sand. through part of our rigorous maintenance program. Several weeks later, when the excavated channel spoil and clutter has dried, it will be removed from the canal banks. The right-of-ways are then restored to their original condition through methods such as hydroseeding. Noxious plants with shallow root structures, such as Australian pine, melaleuca, and Brazilian pepper, are removed. These three species, non-native to Florida, are considered exotics and are part of a county-wide eradication program. Should these exotics or any other trees or debris tumble into a canal during heavy winds and rain, they could impede canal flow, resulting in billions of dollars of flood damage. Our mower crews are a familiar sight to homeowners and those living near the district's canals. Canal banks and our canal right-of-way are mowed regularly to keep the service roads clear and the canals easily accessible. Vegetation, such as hydrilla, constricts canal flow and raises the water level upstream. Hydrilla is another exotic plant species introduced from South America, which can grow at a rate of up to 1 acre per week. Much of the vegetation is below the water, not visible from the surface. The most effective way of controlling hydrilla and other aquatic vegetation is through our aquatic herbicide program. All herbicides used by the Lake Worth Drainage District are applied by licensed applicators. The herbicides are approved by the Federal Environmental Protection Agency and regulated through the State Department of Environmental Protection. The district is sensitive to environmental concerns and strives for safety and water quality. The district reviews all proposed plans for construction projects, inspects the sites, and issues permits for drainage connection. Water discharged by these new projects during a storm cannot exceed specified allowable quantities. All projects must comply with stringent district policies for clearance and water discharge. Safety and insurance are also issues, as well as encroachments of docks and utilities. Some residents plant trees on district rights-of-way. These trees are tagged by inspectors and must be removed by owners. If they are not, the trees will be removed by the district. Flood protection in South Florida is a shared responsibility and provides maximum benefit when all components are designed, constructed, and maintained properly. South Florida employs a multi-level system of flood protection consisting of primary, secondary, and tertiary systems. During rainfall events, excess stormwater is collected and stored in neighborhood lakes, swales, roads, recreation areas, and yards. Water then drains from the neighborhood systems, also known as the tertiary system, into Lake Worth Drainage District canals, or the secondary system. From there, surface water is conveyed to the primary canals operated by the South Florida Water Management District. Homeowner associations need to familiarize themselves with their drainage systems. The Lake Worth Drainage District does not open or close private structures in residential or commercial developments. Maintenance and operation of these systems are the sole responsibility of the homeowners association or commercial property owner. This includes monitoring and maintenance of the community drainage system. South Florida's growing population requires that fresh water be available on a constant basis. Southeastern Palm Beach County's well fields are close to salt water, presenting another challenge to the Lake Worth Drainage District. In addition to our low-lying flat terrain, South Florida's sandy soil acts as a giant sponge, taking in rainwater and passing it down into a giant underground reservoir in the porous limestone. This underground reservoir, known as the Surficial Aquifer, stretches out under the district and acts as a filtration and storage system. Any interruption in the hydraulic freshwater recycling process can dry out the sponge. Saltwater migration will then occur, and the coastal well fields could become contaminated. During the dry season, water in the canals must be artificially maintained by recharging the district system to a height sufficient to create enough water pressure to hold back the salt water. Much of the water in the canal system is kept at an optimum design height of up to 16 feet above sea level to create adequate water pressure to recharge the system. As more water is consumed by the population, or when drought conditions threaten a break in the water cycle, well fields must be recharged or face the danger of salt water intrusion. Now approaching 1 million people, the population within the district places heavy demands on the area's well fields. Because of salt water intrusion, many well fields have already been moved west, away from the coastline. Studies indicate that the Lake Worth Drainage District serves as a major source of recharge for the aquifer system that provides well fields with drinking water. By careful control of canal elevation, the district contributes to the long-term dependability and integrity of the area's water supply. Future plans include systems designed to capture storm runoff that is currently sent east to tide and redirected to the west for storage. Later, it can be used during times of water supply needs. The overall objective is to have access to a larger water supply to meet the requirements of future residents and to reduce discharges into the Lake Worth Lagoon. As we plan for the future, South Florida faces many demands on its water supplies. The Lake Worth Drainage District is preparing to meet the challenges and uncertainties of tomorrow. Our water management teams are constantly studying new ways to provide flood protection and to protect our water supplies from environmental threats to assure that South Florida will always have a safe, dependable supply of drinking water. The Lake Worth Drainage District, a part of Florida's history, meeting the demands and challenges of today, preparing for the future, managing our water resources.